Welcome, everybody, to another Thought Leadership Thursday from BAKERpedia. Our sponsor today is Benexia. And for Benexia, I have Remy in Chile, and I have representing and supporting Benexia in the UK and Europe, I have Leighton Byram, who is a bakery consultant. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hiya.
Hello,
Excellent.
Mark.
Leighton, tell us a little bit about what is gluten-free to you, or as we understand in the market, and kind of why does it matter? What's the importance of gluten-free?
The gluten-free is really important because it is actually medicinal need. Many people, around about 1%, maybe to 2% of the world's population are celiac. So unlike other dietary sort of needs, this is this is a very important one within the baking industry, in my opinion. And that's what led me to pursue the career that I'm pursuing now, coming from a standard bakery to specializing in free from, having relatives who are celiac as well.
Oh,
So that
excellent.
all
Oh, I
helps.
wasn't what you so that is your as a consultant, the free from is one of your specialties.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's good to know.
If it's yes, it's a personal passion, if anything.
Excellent. So it's a personal passion of yours. Do you follow a gluten-free diet yourself, just out of curiosity?
I have done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I have done in the past. I've been tested two different ways. I'm not going into detail about those, but yes.
Okay. And so with wheat sensitivity and gluten intolerance, there's actually levels that are allowed because it's impossible to be zero, really. And the chia seed is probably zero when it comes off the field and goes through the process, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But if it could simply be contaminated through air and things like that. And so what are the regulatory compliance? Do you have some of the information on that for us?
Yes, so in the UK and Europe, you would say it's tested to under 20 ppm. Now that changed, I would say, about 13, 14 years ago. It used to be, believe it or not, Mark, 200 ppm. Yes,
Wow.
about 14 years ago. I know exactly. Now it's got to be under 100 ppm, just to be classified as very low gluten. Yes. Um, in the UK, a lot of people are asking for 5 ppm now in many ingredients that are coming into manufacturers. Final product is 20 ppm. Let's clarify, the legal limit is 20 ppm. Yes.
So the guidance is that the ingredients should be tested for any presence above 5 ppm, essentially, for ingredients, for things that are going in. Yeah.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
that way, if you have 10 ingredients and a lot of them test above 5 ppm, you still need to retest afterwards to make sure that you maintain below the 20, right? They don't accumulate, but if one is really high, it can affect everything else. That's
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really interesting. And other things, Remy, I guess wanted to ask you, as I mentioned, are Benexia's ingredients, that is, primarily we're talking about the chia 435 LM, but you do have other ingredients made from chia, and are they gluten-free? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, Mark, we know that gluten comes from basically wheat, rye, and barley, right? And but it's also an issue of cross-contamination that can happen from the field, from the process, from the machinery, from the whole industrial supply. And one of the things that is, basically describe us as Benexia is that we are 100% chia business, and chia doesn't have any gluten at all. We control from the nursing, the farming, the harvesting, the post-harvest process, and then the ingredient manufacturing. Everything that we do is 100% chia. So we minimize any potential risks, not only of being just gluten-free, but also eliminating all the risk of cross-contamination or any issue that can happen through the standard process of distributions and reaching the ingredient to the manufacturer and the bakers. Okay, so this is one very important thing. So it's not just 100% gluten-free, but it's the whole process is controlled. We have the highest level of quality certification, so we make sure that every lot is tested from the field just to make 100% sure that we don't have any air cross-contamination, because we are in the ambience and all the activities around the ambience. So we focus also on being the best in class in terms of food safety and security for our ingredients. So, and that is on the chia. So the chia fiber, which is the chia powder 435 WLM, which is made from white chia seed, and is part of the fiber containing in the chia. So it's also gluten-free.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, and I mean, that is very, very important. One of the other things wanted to talk about is nutrition. So tell us a little bit about the nutrition in gluten-free.
Yeah. So in gluten-free, the main nutrition that we would try and get into the products are things like iron, calcium, folates, because they're the sort of minerals that are deficient in people with celiac disease. For many people in later in life with the disease, if it's not caught when they're children or as teens, can cause osteoporosis, thyroid issues, and so on. So what we try and do is compensate with, also replace all the good stuff that's in wheat. You know, the vitamins and minerals that you find in wheat as well. And also, don't forget, wheat flour itself is fortified these days. Yeah, it's always, I think it goes back to possibly World War II, does it not? Or maybe before. So we try and replace all those and have added benefits of, and the beauty of the Benexia products, we're now getting a new nutritious thing in there, omega-3s, which also is another nutritious part of the recipe now. So I would say iron, calcium, folates, and all of the above. What wheat flour is actually fortified with, that is needed to benefit a celiac.
And so Remy, Leighton touched on omega-3 and the nutrients. So the omega-3 is it is entrapped in the fiber, is it not? Can you kind of elaborate on that for us a little bit?
Yeah, I will elaborate a little bit more. Just remember, I mean, the chia seed, okay, this is something that we all know, we all consume at home, we have seen in the market in different type of applications. The chia seed is good because it contains high omega-3, as you say, 63% of its fat. It contains around 32 gram of fat, so basically up to 18 gram of omega-3 from chia, okay? So then you have up to 22% of protein, and then you have 35% of fiber. Okay.
Wow.
So this is the chia seed. Now when we extract the fiber and we do the chia fiber 435, what we do is we concentrate the protein from 22 to 25%. We concentrate the fiber and we let only the right amount of omega-3. The amount of omega-3 that you have inside is around 5% from a 9 gram per 100 gram of fat, and 5 gram, which is 60%, is omega-3, ALA, and that is entrapped in the fiber and protein blend, okay, of this powder. Okay, the chia powder 435 is a powder product, okay? And it's made 100% from chia. So basically the fiber part, and this is the funny thing, or the most important thing about nutrition, is that the chia fiber 435 WLM give you both soluble and insoluble fiber. Okay, it has 56% fiber, 6% of soluble fiber, and 50% of insoluble fiber. Okay?
Wow, that's lots.
So, and additional to that, it brings you minerals like calcium, potassium, phosphorus, and do not add any unwanted ingredients in any product like a sugar or high sodium. It's very low in sugar, it's less than 1% in sugar, and very, very low in sodium. So that's also help you to balance the nutrition on application.
So in terms of one of the things is we say is that in terms of replacing starches which have no nutrition, they're very all they are is carbohydrates. That
Yes.
something like chia offers a nutrient dense replacement, so that you're getting some starch, but you're getting gelling from the insoluble fiber, and you're getting the omega-3s, and and it's just full of packed with nutrients, with calcium and everything else. It's much more nutritious. It's actually, and as a matter of fact, it's more nutritious than the wheat flour you're replacing, really. I mean, because the protein is more digestible than wheat flour is. So
Yes.
it's benefits all the way around, right? And so can you tell us a little bit about the how the omega-3 is protected, and the color, how that all works out, right?
Okay. Well, the chia powder 435 basically which is a powder made 100% from white chia seed, and it's
Mm-hmm.
100% natural. We do not do any enzymatic or any
You
basically
don't bleach
salt
it.
extraction, nothing like that. It's 100% natural.
I don't
That is
bleach either. This is natural.
exactly. Me either. But I'm starting. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the most important parts. So that is by doing that, we use high quality of material. So we keep all the natural antioxidants that are available in the chia. The chia
Hmm.
oil by himself, when we extract the oil, the chia oil is very resistant. First, it have a high smoking point of 214 degrees Celsius. So that is make them already a oil that is very heat stable for a high polyunsaturated type of oil. Okay,
Hmm.
so that and with that temperature and the fat that is have a lot of antioxidant, it make it very stable. So when you
Hmm.
use it for the fiber, that we eliminate all the free oil available in the chia seed, and we only let the oil that we cannot remove by physical extraction, okay, that oil is entrapped in the fiber and the protein band. So basically, when you bake it at temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, you're not even reaching the smoking point. And
Hmm.
360 degrees Celsius is not too high from the
Hmm.
smoking point because the product is protected.
Yeah. And
That's
speaking
really
of the
important. So,
nutritional value, Remy, because it binds so much water when you're actually
yes.
mixing it, when you say about calorific intake, it actually
Hmm.
reduces your calorific intake of the product it goes in because of the amount of
Hmm.
water it binds
Yep.
during the process.
Yes, and I wanted to ask you about that, Leighton, is that
So there's that as
the
well, Mark.
it has the absorption capability, and then the binding, and this is something that is really not only calorically useful, but it's also very useful in formulating for making gluten-free products. So if you can tell us a little bit about that, and the how you kind of introduce it into the dough and things like that.
Yes, so I was approached to look at this ingredient, and I'm very excited about any new ingredients that come on the market. And I was looking at this initially to replace an ingredient that's currently in gluten-free, and that's called psyllium husk powder. Now, as people may know, who may not know on this podcast, that is it's quite a good water binder. It's about 20 times its own weight in water. So one
Mhm.
part psyllium to 20 parts um, water.
Water.
With a chia, it's a similar water absorption, and the only difference being it takes just that little bit longer to take the water in. Yeah.
Hmm.
However, its gelling properties and its nutritional profile far outstrips that of psyllium.
Hmm.
And then if we sort of take a step back from that and we're talking about allergens, the issue I have with many of my customers with psyllium powder is the fact that it may contain mustard, may contain sesame allergens because of how it's harvested, a bit like oats. Because of that, people are knocking on the door saying, "Can we look at replacing this product possibly?" And then along came the team at Benexia. I had a look, and it does a very good job, a very good job.
And so it has the water absorption capability is, yes, 25 times, and it even has a retention of up to 30 times its weight. So meaning it actually has some ability to lower water activity for shelf life. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is correct.
That's fantastic. So you can, it's not like you're putting water in and it just bakes out, or you have a lot of free water that can go moldy. It actually can bind some of that water so that it prevents the access of yeast and molds to be able to grow. That
Yes.
is really good, right? And so what are the kinds of ratios that you would usually recommend in most kind of gluten-free type baked good applications?
Yeah, I can go with, like, for example, cookies. Okay, standard tradition gluten-free cookie. Cookies, we all know that, you don't need that much. Probably you're gonna need in order to replace, like, for example, the xanthan and the gluten on the cookies. So basically, it's gonna be in the range of 1 to 2%. If you
Mm-hmm.
want, you can go to 5%, but it's gonna be a little bit more heavy. So that
Mm-hmm.
everything depends your target nutritional goal. Then, for example, a muffin, gluten-free muffin, which are very popular in North America. Everybody go for a muffin in the mid-morning or
And
afternoon.
they're growing in popularity in Europe now too. I'm starting to see them more and more, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, coffee shop is getting, it's
Convenience food.
one,
Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's a place to go. So
Yep.
basically, a muffin you can replace up to 10%.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, so you can start from 5 to 10%, and I don't know, but let me show you. Like, I have a small muffin here that
Hmm.
I bake, and you see this is a gluten-free muffin, and you can see that it's very soft. It's a
Nice.
soft product.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And
Yeah.
it's gluten-free and keto, so it's made with
Hmm.
almond flour.
Yeah.
So it go very well on a muffin. So you can use about, I would say, 5 to 10% of muffin. In You can use also for example, for flat bread,
Hmm.
flatbread
Tortillas.
application,
Yep. Hmm.
tortillas or naan. Normally
Hmm.
there also, because you don't need that much binding or let's say elasticity on you, though you probably need about 1 to 2% is the
Hmm.
recommendation. If you want to go more high, you can do 5. Cracker, very small amount, because you don't want to have that cracker very elasticity, and the chia flour will bring you elasticity. So that is more in the range of 0.5 to 1%. And I don't know, Leighton, you have more experience in gluten-free bread. What is the recommended dosage that you give to your customers?
So I'd say, and if we're going looking at a white sliced, I would say, a white sliced everyday loaf between 1 and 2% in the bread gives you all the functional benefits you need for the process and the product. And this is what I would like to get across: is I class chia as a functional fiber in the process and the product, and not just for the consumer, but actually to make the product as it is. The 1 to 2% in white bread. And then if you're going for the more, I don't use the word whole grain because it's not whole grain. But if you're going whole grain type of bread or a seeded bread, you can look at between 5 and 10%
Oh,
in
wow.
those types of products. So a bit more dense, not as white, and you don't want it as white and fluffy as white bread. So yeah, white 1 to 2% and seeded and grained 5 to 10%.
So there's a lot of versatility there in that respect, and that's very useful. And so, Leighton, then I mentioned gelling earlier on. So, can we talk a little bit about the gel that's formed during the process and the best way to incorporate the chia flour into like a bread dough type of situation?
Yes, through rigorous testing, I've since found that if we put 1 part chia with 10 parts water, um, just mixed together, nothing special, just mixed together, and left there for enough time, 30 minutes or so to hydrate, maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour, just to hydrate. Um, and then add it with when you're doing your baking process, just add when you add your water, your yeast, or your baking powder, and so on and so forth. And mix that in, and it functions just like it should. And the added benefit of doing the pre-hydration for the gelling of the chia is you can actually get more water into your recipe, which gives added shelf life, quality, softness, all those good things. And then at the end of the day, it's got to be commercial. It gives you more yield as well.
That's very good, right? That's very interesting. So what other type of gluten-free baked goods or foods can the chia powder be used for? Besides, we've talked about breads and cookies and things, but are there other things that that you've seen it used for or have tried it in?
Today, we're seeing a lot in the market pasta made from rice, noodles. They're very poor nutritional. You can add more nutrition. It's going to work very well. Then you have corn pastas or corn and rice pasta, or even pea or push protein type of ingredient in pasta. Also, you can add chia powder, 435 WLM. The dosage are going to be depending of the technology that the client have, depending on the extrusion system. Normally, it go from 5 to 8%. So that in pasta is good. You can use it, for example, in soup to increase or sauce and soup that normally we use wheat in order to give them viscosity, in order to increase that and give them the right texture. So you can use it also to absorb water and give more viscosity. Okay, in those sauces and so on. Cereal bars, like let's say protein bar that you normally use gluten or you use hydrocolloided in order to get that paste inside. Also, you can use it there. Normally, the range is going to be between 2 to 4%, depending on the application. You can use it for syrup in order to make water syrup instead of having high sugar syrup. That also you can do it, and all the applications that normally you use gluten in order to give viscosity, to give that elasticity and that binding property, you can replace the chia powder for certified.
And Remy, your website, let's make sure we send everybody to your website so they can always get more information.
Yeah, Benexia.com. You look for Benexia.com and you're gonna find us. And if you want to contact us, info@Benexia.com.
Excellent. Perfect. That is fantastic. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. This has been really interesting, very informative. So my guests today have been Remy Reguero and Leighton Byrom with Benexia. And this has been your Thought Leadership Thursday for BAKERpedia. My name is Mark Florka, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Right.